Welcome to Tiny Tales TV. Let's listen to today's story.
Today's bed story is about the arrogant princess. Once upon a time, there lived a beautiful Princess Catherine. Her beauty was unmatched, like warm sunshine shining on roses. But her arrogance grew even greater than her sparkling beauty. She refused every prince and king asking for her hand. Her father, King Arthur, soon grew weary of her pride. He invited noble princes and kings from every distant land. The palace garden filled with music, flowers, and waving banners. A long line of princes stood proudly, wearing jeweled crowns. Princess Catherine entered proudly, golden bangles clinking with her maids. She examined each prince coldly, staring them from head to toe. "The first prince was fat," she mocked. "I want this beer barrel." "The second prince was thin," she laughed. "I want this dry stick." "The third looked pale and weak," she mocked. "I don't want this patient." "The fourth had red cheeks," she sneered. "A rooster or a prince?" Finally, her eyes rested upon the noble Prince Julian. He was handsome, wise, and kind, unlike all the others. For a moment, Catherine's proud heart trembled strangely inside her. But arrogance returned, and she scoffed. "I don't want this nonsense." King Arthur's face darkened with anger, glowing red with shame. "Enough! You will marry a beggar or singer," he thundered. The next morning, a poor singer appeared at the palace gates. He wore torn clothes, long tangled hair, and carried only songs. His singing rose in the air, sweet melody filling hearts. The king called him inside and married her to Catherine. She cried and resisted bitterly, but her father ignored her. With only 5 gold coins, the singer took her away. The proud palace princess now walked barefoot beside a poor man. Her heart shattered like glass, heavy with tears and sorrow. They entered a quiet forest glowing with golden sunlight. She asked softly, "Whose beautiful forest is this place?" He replied, "It belongs to Prince Julian, whom you once rejected." They passed through fields greener than emeralds, swaying under sunlight. "Whose fields are these?" she asked curiously, with tired steps. He replied calmly again, "They belong to the same prince." They reached a shining city filled with towers and music. She whispered, amazed by its beauty, "Whose city is this?" He said, "The same prince's whom you mocked and called nonsense." Finally, they arrived at a poor, ruined wooden hut. He said, "This is my house, and now yours too." Catherine stepped inside. No carpets, no servants, not even food. She was forced to cook meals with her own hands. She washed the dishes until her delicate arms ached deeply. The next morning, she received rough clothes, no more silk. The palace silk was gone. She now wore torn rags. Her husband said firmly, "You must learn how to work." He taught her weaving baskets carefully from forest branches. Thorns pierced her soft fingers, and tiny drops of blood fell. She cried in pain, but he said, "Learning begins with wounds." He gave her an old shirt, asking her to sew. The sharp needle pricked again. Fresh blood stained her trembling hands. She wept silently, ashamed of her weakness and helplessness. Then he gave her clay pots to sell and market. She walked carrying a heavy basket balanced on her head. The market was noisy and crowded. People stared at her. Her pots sold quickly, but a drunk youth stopped her. "Drink with me, Butyl," he teased, laughing rudely at her. She slapped him hard. He fell, shocked by her courage. Her husband smiled proudly, praising her brave, fearless heart. The next day, her basket broke. She returned empty-handed. Her tears filled her eyes, sorrow heavy in her chest. Her husband said softly, "Perhaps you're not made for this." He found her humble work inside the palace kitchen. She washed dishes all day, her soft hands blistered painfully. Yet she did not complain, slowly learning humility and patience. One day, the palace prepared joyfully for a grand wedding. Lights, flowers, and music filled the sparkling golden royal halls. The cook kindly gave Catherine sweets and meat to carry. She hid them in her pockets, feeling shy and ashamed. Curious, she peeked carefully inside the dazzling wedding hall. Suddenly, the prince entered gracefully. It was Julian himself. He smiled warmly, holding out his hand with kindness. He said, "Come dance with me," his voice gentle. He pulled her forward. They danced before the watching guests. Suddenly, sweets and meat slipped, falling loudly from her pockets. The guests laughed loudly, pointing at her in mocking amusement. Catherine ran quickly, her face burning with deep shame. But Julian caught her hand, stopping her from running away. He led her kindly into a quiet, empty room. "Do you not recognize me?" he asked, softly, smiling. "I am your husband, the singer, beggar, and true prince." Catherine's eyes widened in shock, her voice lost in silence. "Your father and I plan to teach you humility," Julian said. She burst into tears, hugging him tightly with trembling arms. "My queen, no more sorrow now," he whispered gently. The maids dressed Catherine again in shimmering royal clothes. She entered the grand hall, now walking proudly as queen. Everyone clapped with joy, admiring her beauty and newfound grace. The On's arrogant girl had become a humble queen. And so began her new life, wiser, kinder, and loved.
Comment, which story do you want us to make for you? Bye!